everybody, Sam Davidson here with MEA Worldwide, and I am with one of my personal favorite TV actresses, Alanna Ubach. How are you?
Hi. Thanks for having me again.
Of course. I am so happy to see you again. You have a really awesome new role on one of the hottest new shows, Euphoria.
Yes.
You play Suze.
Suze Howard.
Wow, character, right?
Yes. Just a wild, yeah, she's a real peach. As my girlfriend texted me right after she saw the first show, she said, Alanna. It was a script that I had read about a year ago. And I remember it leaving just a big boulder in my shoe for about 4 or 5 days. And I thought, I have to play something in this. And they had cast Ruth, so I thought, well, I'm certainly not right for her mom. But then I found this other character, and I thought, oh, yeah, maybe her. She's interesting.
So your first reaction when getting this script, was it as raunchy and intense as it is on the screen, or was it more so in script, or is it just pretty much what you saw?
Well, I had always... What it reminded me of, and this is interesting, is I couldn't stop thinking about these characters as soon as I was finished reading the script. I was emotionally invested. Mm-hmm. And it reminded me of the feeling I had after watching Foxes, starring Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Mm-hmm. It was done, you're quite young, but I don't know if you remember that movie.
Yes.
You are a movie buff. So it did remind me of that in a sense that it was such a reflection of the times and that generation and what they were going through, and how, you know, the neglect at home bled into the fact that they were getting in trouble and making really provocative choices in their lives, and it was something that always stayed with me when I was a kid. So when I had read that, I thought, oh, this is interesting, because isn't it strange that she has a very straight-laced daughter and a very promiscuous daughter at the same time? So what exactly is going on? Why are they the way they are?
Yeah,
exactly. And that's something that really grabbed me. And when I had a conversation with Sam Levinson, the writer, the director, he basically pulled me aside and said, yes, we are going to go into the backstory come episode 7 of why they are the way they are, and how they're, you know, how you had they were basically growing up in an emotional war zone, and the relationship you have with your husband is really has everything to do with why she is so promiscuous.
And so every generation, like you just mentioned, the Jodie Foster movie, you know, they have messed up kids. Like, there's always reasons for it. You know, what do you think the reason is with this generation of kids? Is it their parents? Is it the influence of social media?
It's everything. I think we're just saturated now. And I think to have information and answers in your pocket at any given time is empowering, and it's also scary. It could have, you know, detrimental effects later on. Social media, I think, is just a breeding ground for anxiety, especially when you're not emotionally mature enough to handle opinions from strangers. And you know, these kids have gone through puberty, and now they're starting to get curious sexually, and starting to figure out what kind of adults they want to be. And unfortunately, anything can be recorded. When I was a kid and I was making strange, crazy, you know, decisions, toilet papering, drinking underage, you know, all of that stuff, there wasn't anyone whipping out their cell phones and recording us doing that and then posting it online so that it could, you know, come back to bite me, you know, 10 years down the road. So I think that's something that has a lot to do with it. And in addition to, you know, the neglect I think that they're getting from their mother, who is constantly drowning her sorrows in the bottle.
And there's only been 3 episodes out so far, but it is one of the most tweeted about, talked about, buzzworthy shows right now. Like, what is the feedback that you've gotten from people, whether it's a message of some sort or just anything that, as far as them loving the show or relating to your character in some way?
Well, it's interesting. A lot of people, you know, unfortunately, have seen it as oh, this is just a show that's based on sensationalism, right? We just want to see a bunch of of like naked teenagers. Is that what is that really what the show's about? No, the show's a reflection of what's going on right now. And just the fact that this was based on a true story on Sam Levinson's life. This really happened to him. He is Rue.
Wow.
And so he was battling addiction from the time he was 14 years old, and finally got sober and was able to talk about this and was able to share this part of his life with people. That's when I can turn around and say, no, this is not about sensationalism. This really happened.
Yeah.
And our young children, is our young generation, do they have their wits together? Are they emotionally mature enough to handle crazy situations? Yes, apparently they are. But then there are these, there's this other side of this generation that is obsessed with social media and what people think. And, again, I do think it's a breeding ground for narcissism and extreme anxiety, especially when you aren't, when you're not emotionally mature to handle something like this. It can really come back to haunt you as you get older. Absolutely. As an adult.
Yeah, for sure. And perhaps your character too, in some ways, because you're in the line that you said last night in episode 3, don't get pregnant, and you could just tell by the look in your eye that was something that, you obviously went through because you had children, but from a young age or whatnot.
Absolutely. And I think down deep inside, Susie does realize, she's very just acutely aware of the fact that her oldest daughter is looking for external gratification in any way she can find it. Whatever it takes, she will try to find love from someone else, because she obviously didn't get that from her father. Absolutely. She was abandoned.
Yeah. Well,
as was Rue.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Her father did die.
Exactly.
But I think that it has a lot to do with the PTSD aspect of trying to sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Pacify your emotions with substances.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't wait to see the rest of the season. It's
wild. It gets wilder.
Oh, I mean, I can't imagine. I don't even know how much further they could go, but I'm sure they will.
They do.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The finale, I think, is really unbelievable. I mean, from what I read on the page, it got to the point where I was reading the scripts and thinking, oh gosh, some of this stuff can be really disturbing. I'm just gonna flip over to my scenes.
You know what I mean? The mom and you can't handle it.
Yeah, because you can't help but picture your own child in these situations. When my child becomes a teenager, is he going to be in these situations? What is he going to do? How is he going to react? And will he get in trouble? And will that be recorded and put out into the ethers for the rest of his life?
Yeah. That's something you definitely have to think about now and all the time.
Sure.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Guys, make sure to tune into Euphoria on HBO on Sundays, and we will see you next time. Bye.